I make a mistake, fortunately my autocorrect corrects it. And it's like, oh, that's not the word I meant. But, we make mistakes. I for years after, little calculators came out, for years, I would add it up on my calculator, then I would go back and add it. See, that's 12, 16, 24, 33. I would add it up, put down 6, area 2. I would add it up in my head because I didn't trust the calculator. Now I use the calculator to check when I add it up in my head. But we make mistakes. That's why we have erasers on pencils. That's why we have all of these things because we make mistakes. DNA sometimes in copying itself will leave off part of the DNA, which then changes my DNA. Now, our kids have the combination of my DNA mistakes plus my wife's DNA mistakes. Yes, you do. She said, I don't have any. Yes, you do. And so, for generations, we've been passing off our DNA errors in copying. One of the things, and I keep thinking there's something wrong. A computer can copy. Well, I had to back up I had to restore my file the other day after my computer was in the shop. It was copying 4 to 10, somewhere between 4 and 10 megabytes of data per second. 1 megabyte would be equivalent to a typewriter typing all X's straight through, filling the sheet, or 100 sheets of paper, all full of X's. That would be 1 megabyte. It was copying anywhere from 4 to 10 megabytes per second. But you know what? When I went to look at some of my files, it had copied some of them wrong. Even computers make mistakes. So this DNA, which was now affected by the rays of the sun would mess up some of the DNA. You get 2-bit badly sunburned, you can alter your DNA some. Along with the fact that now we don't have that canopy, we've got, copying errors, which after the flood, the atmosphere changed. We have extreme heat and extreme cold. And by the way, heat and cold can kill people. That would affect the age, the average age. If you're living in certain places and it gets down 20 below zero and your house is not insulated and you don't have wood, a lot of people freeze to death during the winter. During the summer, they have heat strokes. So the heat and cold shortens the lifespan. But after the flood, people lived a long time. Like I said, Noah lived over 500 years. But they kept getting shorter and shorter as the DNA copied, left out part, cut off part, duplicated parts. All of this would cause damage to the DNA. Before the flood and even after the flood, the DNA, Adam and Eve's DNA was perfect. Absolutely perfect. But with each generation, it became a little less perfect. But back then, you could still marry. Abraham married his half-sister. That was perfectly accepted because their DNA had not corrupted enough that it would affect their offspring. Jacob married his cousin. No problem. But now, today, if you marry your cousin, the odds are very high that your child will be physically and probably mentally handicapped. We have some very good friends of ours. Two cousins married. I see, they're very good friends of ours. Cousin married cousin. The girl was born first, wasn't she? Yeah, Jill came later. Yeah. The girl was born. Physically, she's pretty much almost normal physically. But she has the mind of about an 8 or 10-year-old. They had a son who is physically and mentally in really bad shape. And so they checked and found out he had corrupted DNA. She had the same corrupted DNA. And when you fix ruin A with ruin A, you're going to get ruined children. And so that's exactly, today we don't marry cousins because the DNA is more likely to have the same corrupt DNA. So that cut the life expectancy way, way down from 969 to 79. And a lot of that was through the changes in the DNA and living in a different world. We now live in a world of chemicals that kill us. We live in a world of all other things that kill us. And so we don't live 900 years. And I told somebody the other day, wouldn't you like to live another, ever what it was, 30, 40? I said, if I had to live another 30 years in this body, no, I don't want to live another 30 years in this body. So then there was the flood effect. We kind of covered it. The shield from the sun gone. Now we get the direct result. Severe heat and cold kills a lot of people. In fact, many people think that the extreme cold, the ice age after the flood, and there was an ice age, actually several ice ages, that it was the ice age that killed the dinosaurs. The only problem is we still have dinosaurs today, so I guess all of them didn't get the cold. Well, I've already covered most of that, the copy errors, the combined effects of the sun and all the other changes, the poisons now, certain plants can produce poison. One of the questions the other night that came up real often is, what are they going to be manufacturing and what kind of chemicals are they going to be giving off in this factory that they're building? And they didn't have an answer. Well, they shouldn't be giving off any chemicals. Shouldn't. And they say shouldn't. Yeah. Anyway, so all of that combined gradually took our bodies down. Now, what's going to happen in the new heaven, the new earth? God's going to restore our bodies just like it was before. And there will be no copy errors. And we will live eternally. Because we won't have a body that will be corrupted. I quoted Moses there in Psalms 9. This was written by Moses toward the end of his life. The days of our years are 80 years and 10. And if by reason of strength they be 80 years, yet is their strength labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away. We sing the song sometimes, I'll fly away. One of these days, we're going to fly away. No more pain, no more sickness. We will have the same type of body that Adam and Eve had before the fall. Now, I went to an electrophysiologist. You don't know what that is. It's a fancy word for a guy who specializes in pacemakers in the heart. And I thought I was doing really, really good. And the nurse comes in and checks it, and she says, "Oh, what's wrong?" She said, "Your pacemaker battery is down to less than 1%. I said, "What does that mean?" She said, "It means you've got about a month max before it's going to kick off. Well, before it will click, and then we've got so many weeks to get it replaced." So I said, "In other words, you're telling me if it clicks early, I'm dead." She said, "No, we're not going to let that happen." I said, "If it clicks off early, I'm dead. My heart does not beat at all without the pacemaker. So I'm down to less than 1%, which means I get to have surgery and get a new pacemaker put in." I said, "You just made my day." I thought I had at least another close to a year. She said, "No, you got less than a month before it clicks. And then we got a couple of weeks after that." So I'm looking forward to a new body. Body that's not held together by metal stimulators, pacemakers, but it's all the result of sin. Father, we come again. We thank you, Lord, for